Alright, ladies and gents, what's going on, boys and girls? It's David here, and I'm still sick, so that's something we have to bear with for now. But I wanted to talk a bit more about HunterBlade, because understandably people would be a bit skeptical about, how much of a copy is this game like Monster Hunter, and, if it is, which it is, how well does it, fare in comparison to it? In comparison, meaning, is it like Monster Hunter, essentially? And I'm going to help explain a couple of things to do with the game. Now, I'm not really going to mention the town, but you should expect everything you've seen in a Monster Hunter game to be in this town. I don't know if there's a farm. To be honest, I haven't actually looked. But the main stuff's there, like armor forger and weapon forger and, that type of stuff. There's even a type of gem crafter, but in this game it's called a rune crafter. But anyway, you pick a zone, and I believe the zones and quests you have available to you are based on your experience or level, which I will talk about later on. But anyway, in this you have different degrees of difficulty for a quest. Again, I believe they're based on your level. But anyway, you can start a quest, and if you want, you can make it open to anyone else in the village, so anyone else can join your quest if you so wish. And there's also a tab option within the game for you to join anyone else's quest if they indeed post one. But anyway, here's the base camp. Instead of an item box like in Monster Hunter games, you have Rebecca, who's also an NPC within the town. She will give you the temporary items for requests, such as first aid, even paintballs, to track monsters and stuff, hot drinks, that type of stuff. I'm going to speed this up in a minute so I quickly talk about what leveling does. Leveling in this game is based on, experience, which you can earn from doing quests for NPCs, which you should do because they give a lot of experience. Killing monsters, and finishing hunts, hunting specific enemies and whatnot. You get a bonus experience for that. What does it mean? Well, I believe at level 20, which is what I got to, you can actually spec into a weapon, and you can get additional skills from using that weapon. I'm making it as passive as humanly possible to make it seem as a lot like Monster Hunter. You can do that, however, from what I've seen, you can slightly have hotkey skills. Like one for short sword is so you can run faster for 20 seconds. I don't know if you'd call that non-Monster Hunter-ish, but whatever, I'm just going to go pure as humanly possible because you can do that and you can do it well. That means certain attacks do more damage and whatnot. Also, in the leveling system, you do not get access to weapon types straight away. You don't. So, at the start, you get a wand or a staff for ranged combat, but for melee, you end up either with the tachi, the long sword, for the people who called it the tachi within, Monster Hunter Freedom 2 and Unite. You get that type of weapon, and you also get the short sword, which is what I'm using now, the sword and shield. At level 30, you unlock access to the dual swords. At level 30 again, you unlock access to the hammer, and at level 40 you gain access to the claymore, which is the great sword in this game, which you see a lot of people running around like Cloud Strife for that thing. For the ranged, at level 40 you gain access to the bow. I don't know what top level is, but I believe it's level 70. But as you can see, the combat is very fluid in this game, and you need to move the camera around a fair bit to actually play the game and dodge and whatnot. You'll see me dodge a lot more when we actually get to the boss of, semi-boss, let's say, of the actual hunt. You can skin enemies and stuff, get the materials that way. You will also gain the same rewards from beating the quest from a little item menu, which I'll show you at the end. If you look in the top right and ignore the Velocidrome lookalike, you will see there's a tracking menu. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's a handy feature within the game that allows you to track the weapons or armor that you want to craft. Basically, the game lets you know what items you have, so you don't have to keep checking every so often with the item forger, either the weapon forger or the armor forger, just to look at this, the items you want to make, and ultimately make progress in making whatever piece of equipment you want to make. Now you look at this Velocidrome, or the Ice Velocidrome, lookalike called I think it's the Winter Worm Dragon or whatever. I thought I was actually fighting a dragon. I was like, no way, it's making me fight a dragon this early on. But what this thing is, you may look at it and think, yeah, it looks exactly like the Ice Velocidrome. It's pretty much size-wise and move pattern-wise. Does it actually perform the same as it? Yes, it does. It has the exact same move pattern. It actually sounds exactly the same. It just looks a bit differently. And it even has the attack where it throws basically like a massive snowball at your ass, like that. And if it hits you, you're basically walking around as a massive, like, basically a snowman, for a period of time where you move slower. which is great. So far, I believe that every you know, monster you see that looks like another one within the game, their move patterns are the same. And you still need to learn monster patterns and stuff to actually do well in this game. Each weapon has their own different weapon types. Well, obviously, weapon attack. So the Tachi still has its attack bonus. It still has its, you know, wide arc of attack movement and stuff like that. But this is the clearing screen. Where you know, you can loot whatever the hell you've killed. Another good thing with this game is that your loot does not disappear. So monsters you kill do not disappear unless you looted them, which is great. Because that was an issue in Monster and it really pissed me off. But anyway, you go to the clearing menu. I was trying to, like, you know, see if I could get more out of him. But anyway, you get this, and it's your total experience and stuff. And you can unlock, you know, a chest or whatever, which is basically your items from the quest, and you know, basically they're based on whatever, basically whatever you're hunting. And then from there you can, you know, do it again, and there's even an option to hunt again. You do not lose what you've already got. But that's that. That's a brief explanation. Hopefully you enjoyed. I enjoy the shit out of this game. I really do. But anyway, ladies and gents, that is it for now. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.
We are the chosen ones. We sacrifice our blood. We kill for honor.